Welcome to another episode of Irish from Three with Coach Ben Smith. I'm joined as always with the coach, and today we've got an extra special guest, I guess you would say. We got Demaryius Baybay Thomas. I don't even like calling you Demaryius because I ain't ever known you like Demaryius. Like every time I hear it on the TV, I'm like, no. But welcome to the show, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me.
What's up, my brother? Good to have you,
brother. How you been? How y'all doing?
You know, we trying to make it in the country. That's it.
Hey, bro, I'm out here in the city with no power, so it ain't no better.
Ooh,
that's why y'all see me
Lord.
right here posting like this.
Hey, y'all need to get an EMC, man. We got that Oconee EMC. We got plenty of power.
I'm with EMC
Lord.
20.
Lord Jesus.
That's
See?
love.
Well, Baybay, tell us for a second now. Let's go ahead and break it down because a lot of people may not know the relationship that you and Ben have, and I know this is going back years. Y'all go ahead and talk about this relationship and how it's become so strong over the years.
Let me go first.
Go
I
ahead.
think it started just growing up, and you know the rivals. That's all we talked. That's all I thought about rivals, and I always wanted to beat Dublin. If nobody if we didn't know the year we did beat Dublin, you know. That was our championship. I mean, the year they beat us was our championship year. And he was always my problem. I couldn't check him. I never could. I honestly say that. I couldn't check him. And over the years, 9th grade, 10th grade, it was always like competition. I want to be better than him. But then over the time, we just got closer and made it like it was a bond. We played with the Smyrna Stars. And after that, we just stayed closer to each other. Now I see him like a brother. It ain't even no rival thing no more. It's like he's just my brother from another mother.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's how we do it.
Yeah, the same. Like just pretty much verbatim what he said. Like growing up, I used to always hear his name. You know, like he was in it. Like Baybay good over here, Baybay good. So before I even knew him, his face, I knew a name. You know, so the first time I ever met him was like you used to have to qualify like for like track meets when like elementary. You know?
Oh yeah.
And we ran 100, and we both got smoked.
Man, smoke.
So then we get to high school, like you said, it started off as a rivalry, and then when we start playing AAU together, that's when I was like, oh, bro, real cool, you know. And then we just hooping and like with our AAU team, like we played on the national circuit, like the real big circuit, like with Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, and all this. And we had like what people don't know, it was four of us. Me, Baybay, Skylar, Chris Wright.
Wow.
And we all playing major minutes, and we went like 56-4 that year, and we had like several.
Wow.
Like Cameron Haywood was on our team. He's on the Steelers right now. Jordan Hill went to Arizona. Like we were loaded, but we had 4 Lawrence County kids playing crazy.
You know, I was a defensive guy, you know.
Yeah, I seen this true story. I seen Baybay lock up Lance Thomas. Lance Thomas was like number 4 in the country or something at his position. He on the Knicks now. He put Baybay on him and he locked him up. But before we get too deep, Jason, I gotta tell you this story. We in AAU.
Oh man. Here we go.
We get to the championship game, right? So we've been cooking. Baybay, both of us, all us killing all day. But we lost early, so we literally winning, playing 20 minutes later, play again. 20 minutes later, play again. So we make it all the way to the championship game. We exhausted. We down 2. I foul out, so that's my fault. I foul out. I do foul out. But I had like 25, right? So the last play we go, we throw the ball in the Baybay, right? He catch it inside pivot. He's trying to go between the legs and falls down and travel. So the funniest part of the ball, the camera pan, so he like, you know, like a kid, like he hurt. The camera pan towards me, and I'm just looking at him like, you suck.
Hey, I would tell you that day I was like, man, golly, bro. That's crazy. I thought I got fouled. I tried to make all these excuses because Ben used to always bother me, but bro, hey, I'm better than you. And I knew it. I never wanted to take it. I went to West Lawrence, like playing ball, and I love basketball, and I just got into football. But coming up playing ball against Ben and Chris and the rest of the guys, and I just knew Ben ball skill set was so different than anybody I done played against. And I was like, man, I might not be ready for really basketball. But I was always a team player. I played my defense good, but then I just started getting big and could run. So I was like, well, being this good at golf at, 5'10", by now, probably in school.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I ain't that good. I said, I might stick to the football. I'm going to go to the football.
It worked out, though.
But I can honestly say that, though.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Because, like,
that's what's up.
out of everybody I done played against from high school ball, he the hardest person I ever had to check, and it's always was that little ugly hesitation he got. Every time.
I appreciate that, G. It's like that for everybody.
And what
Everybody
else
just can't admit
crazy?
it.
What else crazy? I remember my 10th grade year, and they was like, oh, yeah, you got Ben. I was like, yeah, I got him. That's easy. I didn't know how strong this little guy was when I tried to post him up one time. I'm like, yeah.
But I remember all that like yesterday, bro.
That's the days, bro.
Man, that's just some intensity. You talked about, Dublin beat y'all when y'all won state, and then you beat Dublin when Dublin won state. Talk about that rivalry. Well, I was at that game. I actually took that picture of you, Baybay, when you got that second try.
You remember that one?
Yeah. I
remember that one, right?
I remember y'all was up on them hard all night, and then all of a sudden you could see a light click on, and Chris and Ben and them were like, we ain't finna lose to these guys. And the next thing you know, it's like right there, and it's like a few seconds left in the game, and I'm sitting there because, I wasn't a photographer at the time. I was more a reporter, and I'm like, he finna shoot a game-winning shot right here. You just get that feeling. When you play enough games, you start getting that vibe. I'm like, he's finna and I got lucky and I got it. I'm like, oh Lord. But then, like, if it hadn't been for you, we got to give you a little props, because had it not been for you, who knows? Maybe that year they don't get that fire and they don't win it.
Hey, give us a wake-up call.
Hey, I never heard the last of that shot, though. And I still didn't last of that shot.
To this day.
Hey, you won, bro.
Yeah. This man, look, no time. He took like a half-court shot. They had like 7 seconds left. He shot like probably a half-court. But he got some offensive rebounds, put the ball back, respect. That's his shining moment in basketball. I get it,
that. Hey, I talk about my championship. I don't really talk about basketball no more because I don't talk about high school basketball.
What we need to do.
Get Ben today if I had to.
Hey, I'll tell you what we need to do, Ben, is we need to get Baybay. You know how they give like the moms for the champions and the cheerleading, they give them like a little pendant they can wear on a necklace. We need to get him one of those 06. Just get him a little, put it on his chain, that little topper.
Straight up, he's a motive. Hey, listen, going backtrack. I meant to say this, right? I want to backtrack about the basketball statement when he was like, he should have played football. Oh, that's why he chose football. So another story, right? We in Vegas playing AAU. So took some country boys to Vegas. So myself, Baybay, Chris, Skylar, we all sneak out. Like we like 4-0. So we like, man, it's all right. We good. We don't, it don't matter what time we good. So I guess my dad come to our room and we wasn't there, right?
Uh-oh.
So it's like, it had to be like 3 a.m. We come across the street from a Rio casino. We see my dad. When I say we took out and Baybay smoked us racing. we like, bro, you so fast.
Hey, bro,
then we all get back to the room. We so nervous. We like, man, is he gonna come in here? Like, we super nervous.
We teenagers, man. We ain't know.
We
check out something.
You done put people from Dublin and Vegas. We can't stay in the room.
I done got on a plane for my first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was my first time flying too.
AAU days, first time flying.
Baybay was getting ready for that touchdown against the Steelers in the playoffs. That's what he's doing. He's getting ready for that sprint job right there in the overtime. That's what he's practicing for.
But you know what's crazy though? Why I did take the route of football? Because I would play basketball and I would run track. But I used to try to play football when I was younger, and I used to try to make me play defense. And every time I would tackle somebody, I get a stinger, and I was like, no, I'm done. So like my 10th grade year, it was a coach. He came, he was like, I need you in the weight room. I want you to play ball. I was like, no, I'm gonna play basketball. All I wanted to do is play basketball. I ain't never played like no program sports. My first time playing program was 6th grade when I played ball. And basketball and football and everything else was like throw them up, bust them up, or yard ball.
Got you.
So then I got into football, and this coach just stayed on me. He just stayed on me. And Coach John Kenny and Brad Harper got me in the weight room for about 2 weeks and gained 20 pounds. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I started thinking like, I was like, I'm gonna go 11th grade. I was like, I'm gonna go receiver. I went to receiver. I was playing receiver in 10th grade too, but I went to receiver and I started thinking, I was like, man, I really love basketball, but I'm 6'3". I'm a good size, but it's a lot of guys my size and NBA. I would say if they're gonna play basketball at the next level, they're gonna say NBA. And I was like, man, it's a lot of people my size at that position. So I was like, I'm good at football. I said, ain't many guys can run in 6'3" and 230. So I took that route. And I stuck with that route because I just remember one day I told my mama, whatever I do, I'm gonna stick to it. And I was at Tech at the time, and Chan Gailey had left, and there was a pro style offense, and that's how I got into triple option. And it was like, man, I ain't gonna never get the ball. But I still remember, I was like, I'm gonna do this for my mama, because at the time my mama was in prison and my grandma was in prison. Yeah. And like I started in a loneliness doing a lot of this stuff like when I was 12. So football was my way out. I stuck to it hard. I was good in the book work, but I just put everything to football, and it wasn't easy by any means. Like people
think you done run through the whole interview already.
Yeah. Let me slow you down some.
Yeah, man, you done. Like I'm looking at my notes. I'm looking at my questions in my notes. I'm like, he answered that one. He answered that one. He answered that one.
We can talk about him again.
It's good. It's good, man.
Nah, you all good, bro. That's what's up. Nah, I was just about to say, to piggyback off that, to go back some, like when you went to Georgia Tech, you know what I'm saying? Let's say adjustment. So you went under a coach who had a pro style offense, and then you go to the wing team. And I'm sure as a receiver, you thinking like, man, like this not even for me.
No.
You know? And then, but you still took that, you made it. So I want you to talk about like making the most out of it. Because I remember, like, because, I'm a Miami fan. I'm like, every time this man catches the ball, it's 40, 50-yard play. Like, but you still were able to make the most out of that situation. So kind of just talk about your mindset and staying focused and ultimately have the ultimate. I mean, you kept, like you already said, you kept your goal and what you're trying to do in mind and not getting sidetracked.
So after that, the reason why I was going to Georgia Tech, my daddy was in Atlanta in the Army. My mom was in prison at the time, so I wanted to be close to my daddy. And then Calvin Johnson was there. So I was like, I want to learn Calvin Johnson. And like you said, the triple option came. And I'm like, man, all the receivers gone. I might get 3 targets a game. And I'm like, it was so bad to a point I was like, I might go to Valdosta State just so I can play ball.
Wow.
And I was like, no. I said, no, I ain't even going to do it. So I stayed at Tech. I said, I'm going to make sure I get my book work, and I'm going to do whatever extra in football to make myself be known. So what actually took it over the top is when I used to be out there crack blocking guys, like, because I know it's a triple option. Yeah. If I do my part on the team, which is always about the team because it's 11 individuals when it comes to football on offense, I do my part, the offense come better. I do my part when I go down to block the safety or if I block in the corner. And then, like, down the road, it's like maybe play 8. You'll see me running 50 yards wide open or a touchdown or something like that. So when I started working hard and running and then, getting the understanding of the offense and doing all the blocking, I was like, I can go a season or 2 with 40 catches and 1,200 yards. Yeah. And my last season at Tech, that's what it was. But it wasn't like, what the thing was so hard, it was always hard because I would have days where I was like, man, this is so tough because school was tough. Not having my mom around or being able to talk to somebody when I had my problems was tough. And just, football is tough, period.
Yeah, no doubt.
You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got to make it to class. You don't make it to class, you be 5 o'clock running. And that can mess up your whole day.
Right.
So my thing was just stick to what I always stick to what I do and put my best forward. If I want to be good at it, I'm going to continuously do repetitively reps or repetitively, reading or whatever it got to be to get great at it. Because I feel like I be telling some guys now, it's like I said, this kid can go out here and sing this whole song. He can go out here and learn his playbook. He can go out here and do whatever he want in life because it's just remembering and going reps more and more. So, and that's what I did. And it kind of paid off in football. I was able to run and I was big and I was, big country boy able to run.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
No doubt. The reps part is, that's my grandmama and my daddy walking in.
It's good.
The reps is like so important. Like trying to tell high schoolers that now, like I said, whatever you're gonna do, you got to put in the work to it. Only if you want to be an A student, it takes a certain amount of commitment and effort to be an A student. Now, if you want to be a first round draft pick or play overseas basketball, go to the NBA, it's not once you get to a certain level, talent equals off. It's going to people who willing to do the extra.
It's
people
that work.
Stay and do the reps. So
it's the extra.
Like that's what separates you. It's what you do in the dark. It's gonna. So what you do, even like the little stuff you say about blocking, that sets up your big play later. You know what I'm saying? Even though people might not really see that part, that's what that's what's so hard to get the youth to understand.
What I try to tell myself as an ultimate wide receiver do everything. They block, they run, they catch, they do all that. And I knew when I was in school, a lot of receivers, they want to block. In the NFL, a lot of guys, they want to block. So when people started seeing me block, and then I was able to run, it was like it made the things in my game come easier because, like press coverage, for example. When press coverage is one of the hardest things. But what people forget, if you get blocked when somebody pressures you, don't know if it's a run or a pass. Right. That's what help you in your game. These are little things that people don't know. Like, I was so good with Peyton because I knew what he was thinking. I could read the defense. I could even call a play to Peyton, and he'd be like, yeah, because he see what I see. He taught me those things. And them the little things that you do. Like, right now, I'm like, I can be here looking at a playbook. Some people ain't going to want to do that because they feel like they got so much time to do other stuff. Mm-hmm. It only takes 30 minutes or 45 minutes to do something here, and then you can do intervals. I do like intervals. I go 45 minutes, I'd be stretching, or 45 minutes, I'd read. It's those little things that's doing extra, and because, it's your destiny, and I want my destiny to be great, so I just did the little things.
And you preaching. I'm at church putting my hands up, man. I'm feeling that testimony right now.
Man, I'm like, for real, like, especially like not having into coaching. Because now that I'm coaching, even like when you were a player, all this. But as a coach, you've been a player. Like, sometimes you think your coach is just talking. That's why I love to have you guys on here who've played. Like you said, if you do 30 minutes a day, at the end of the week, that's 210 minutes that you did that other people didn't do. So if you do that by 4 weeks, now the gap is even bigger. Especially 12 months, the gap is even bigger. So, like, when I hear you say type of those things, like, that's like the message I love to hear conveyed, and I hope people are tuning in. Whether they go to Dublin or not, of course I want my team to do this, but like we talk about all the time, I hope some kids from West Lawrence, East Lawrence watching this, because after school, we want everybody to win. Of course, we want to be together in school.
We want to spread the love.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's like, even at nighttime, like, how you be at nighttime, before I go to sleep, I stretch because it helps me when I wake up in the morning, I feel better.
Wow.
Yep.
It's those little things to make you compete at your best. Because you wake up and you tight and stuff, you potentially go out there and you hurt yourself. And in the NFL, if you hurt and you're not durable, if you can't go out and play, you're done. Like, done. So my main thing was to be durable. Always be able to line up and play and know my playbook. Line up and play. Know my playbook. I'm sorry.
You good.
Okay, the first thing was always know what I'm doing before I line up. In communication. I would always ask questions. That's one thing that I don't think young kids do enough is ask questions because they be scared somebody might pick on them or be like, you ain't that good at that. That because, hey, it ain't right. It just ain't right to me. So I always ask questions. Like, I was in high school, I would never ask Ben questions on how he was so good at dribbling because I wanted to be better than him. But then at a point, I was like, I ain't better than him. But the things I would do, I would watch the stuff that he would do. I would watch the stuff that Chris would do because I know they probably was playing ball before me, and that was still my goal. I don't care if somebody is better than me. If I can get to my best,
right,
my best.
That's what it's about.
Yep.
That's what it's about right there.
That's what it's about. And it's like everybody. I think everybody always want to be like this person. Okay, if they your idols, that's fine. But you should always perfect your technique to be its best ability for you. Yeah, and that's what I do. But I said, I rubbed off. Being rubbed off on me. Chris rubbed off. Guys that ain't even play ball, you still can play football. You still can take it and take it to different sports.
Exactly.
Even in the world.
Those are some great lessons, man. And I'm gonna tell you, like, the thing that I appreciate about you, number one, is to see how much you've opened up as a person on like a personal basis. And I know Ben's here, so that's gonna make you a little bit more loose. But like back when I worked at the newspaper, Baybay was a little bit more bashful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always kind of been like that because, I was always kind of nervous. That's what I think. I always loved to have fun, but I was kind of nervous because I was kind of like a loner. And I try not to be that now because I think the stuff that I done learned, the younger crowd need to know. And it ain't just about being a superstar or having all the things that other people don't know. It's the small things in this world that people don't see other people do that's so great. I was watching a thing about Kobe one time when he had broke his hand with his right hand and he was in the gym with his left hand shooting free throws. It's like a lot of guys won't even do that.
Yeah, right. They just feel sorry for themselves. Sit down. He was still getting better, you know.
Exactly.
And, so man, the mental part of it too. I don't want to forget that because you said a lot of good stuff about studying. We'll just talk about basketball and football right now, and just being ahead. It's nothing like knowing what's coming before it happens.
Yes, sir.
If you know what's coming in basketball, if I know. Like in basketball, I could tell how you standing if you screening. Oh, he gonna be open, even if you haven't done it yet. And I tell you open before you open.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about Peyton and I mean, we watch, so we always hear about. It's the same way. Yeah, it's the same way. If you give us a certain look before the play starts, you already did. And if both of y'all know it, you already did. So that even sometimes that makes up for lack of athleticism, just knowing.
Hey, I want to take it back to high school. I remember we had this defense that we won the championship was called Hot, and it used to get so many people problems because everybody was doing their part. I was doing my part in the fight. Everybody was doing their part. I ain't saying against y'all, but everybody was doing their part, and that's the main thing. If you can get 5 guys to, work hard and be their best for them individually self, and then you get them on the court or the field. And they start gelling together, I don't care what type of talent they got. It's still going to be hard to stop what they got. That's why
that alone takes you from here to here.
Man, come on, bro. Peyton came up. We had good receivers, but Peyton came off of neck injuries. But we worked together. We threw, we probably threw 40, 50 routes a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a lot of running.
Yeah.
But it was just like clockwork. You knew when you knew when the ball gonna be. He knew what everything. It was just like a video game, like Madden.
Yeah.
It was. 2013 was like a video game.
Yeah, and then y'all come out and you like, God, why this? That's why you one of the best offenses in NFL history. It's not because you just lined up on Sunday.
No.
Nah, it's what you was doing up to Sunday was the easy part.
Man, that was the bakery, baby. The week, hey, bro, what people don't understand, weekdays, throughout the week, training camp and all that stuff is some of the hardest work of all days. Going against, what people forget is, well, I don't know if they forget, but say you're on a team and you're preparing for another team. You going against guys you see every day. So guys you see every day kind of start to remember what you do. So them little things, you be like, man, I can't be getting locked down in practice. You'll get it in your head, like, this don't happen in the game. So that even take you to another level to like, all right, I got to even be ready for my guy in practice.
Yeah.
All things took my game to elite level.
Same in basketball. I remember my last year overseas, we had a young guy, good player, but he was like really talented player. But just like you said, we practice against each other every day. So I will learn what I had him down like a book. I remember one time he was going one-on-one when he crossed over, and before he spent, I caught it. I was like, spin move. He turned right to me, and I stole the ball. And then he was like, and we was like, so it get chirpy. I was like, you do it every day. And now I'm older, so I'm telling him this, like, you just can't come to practice every day and being content. Now you got to if I'm noticing this, it's on tape now. Somebody else gonna notice this. You got to work on. You got to find your counter to that. So. Man, like I said, we can go on and on about stuff like that.
It's so much stuff like that. Because, bro, I even said, like, I have to teach myself sometimes. When I'm running routes, I might lean or something to the way. I'm giving away my route. It's just the same thing, but it's the repetition. Eventually, the more repetition you do, you can do 100 repetitions a day. You become a robot. That's what kind of you want. Yeah. Then when you become a robot, you can put the techniques or whatever extra you want to put on it.
Exactly. No doubt.
Well, I'm gonna tell you giving like, this is like one of the master classes you see on the TV where they're like, pay $60 and you get a master class to tell you how to be away. I don't know if you realize how much you're giving these kids to be able to hear about like what it takes to be a professional athlete, and not just a professional athlete, but a professional anything, because like even in my job, I get better by doing it over and over again and trying to be excellent each time and not being satisfied with what I did last time. You know, like if you look right here, that's a little copy of the newspaper that you signed with Miss McClendon back in the day at the church.
Yeah.
And so like that, you know, when you had Super Bowl 48, things did not go the team's way, but they went your way. You set a Super Bowl record for receptions in that game, but the team didn't win. Then you turn around in Super Bowl 50 and Peyton's struggling. So obviously
Totally
you ain't going
opposite.
right. It's a whole different experience, but you get a ring out of it. So tell the kids about how those two, you know, like in one, you had the total individual game where you just balled out. And then in the other game, you weren't able to because Peyton's health was what it was. Talk about that to kids, about how you stay in your right mind in both situations.
Well, so the crazy thing with that, so Super Bowl 48, you know, when you make it to the Super Bowl, you be so happy. But like you said, I had the record. We got blew out. I had the touchdown. I had 13 catches, and I was happy about that part. But I was leaving the game with a broken rib. We got embarrassed on TV, and I was like, man. After that game, I never talked about those 13 catches and that touchdown again, because it wasn't nothing for me. It was an individual thing, but I play a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about playing a team sport, everybody got to do their part, and I ain't gonna brag about something that ain't really do nothing. It was in a Hall of Fame book, but I ain't on whatever book it was in. I don't care about that because I wasn't able to get the W. And then in 50, it was a whole different thing. You had Peyton wasn't healthy. I wasn't even the healthiest. I had a herniated disc, what people don't really know. I had one catch for 8 yards that game.
Yeah.
Not even that game. The 3 games before that, I would run a route. I would turn so fast that I couldn't see it. That season, I had 11 drops because my head was hurting and I couldn't see. But what I had learned and what I was paying attention on film was, if I do certain things, just the small things a little better, I can get the double team and I can get either ball.
Yeah.
So I started doing the little things because I know I wasn't gonna shine, but I did the little things to get the burst the runs open, the little things to get me double team. So those things helped us to get over that, and having that ultimate team goal and winning that championship. You can't take it away.
Can't replace it. You can't replace it.
Somebody can break that record of somebody already broke it, actually.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, James White. That's right.
It's always the ultimate goal when it's a team thing.
Hey, let me tell you something. All that little work that you were doing to get those double teams was getting my kids mad because, you know, they love some Baybay.
Yeah.
And when Emmanuel Sanders started getting all these balls, like my oldest child's like, I don't like that coach no more. They're always trying to throw the ball away from Baybay. I mean, they were mad, man. Like my son was like, they finna need to get a new coach because they ain't throwing the ball to Baybay, and everybody knows Baybay's the best one out there. I'm like, baby, you got to understand that. Like, it's like that's not how it works. Well, I don't care because Baybay's better than Emmanuel, and I'm like, he ain't even gonna think that way because I know Baybay. They're all brothers, you know that.
I don't.
Yes,
I didn't think that way because I knew, like when Emmanuel got there, he was talking about we was just talking. I was like, bro, this the first thing I told Emmanuel when he got there. I said, bro, it ain't no number 1, it ain't no number 2. We just a one hole.
Yeah.
And I started noticing the first 2 games, it's like the ball was coming my way a lot. I said, hey, I told this to the offense coordinator. I said, we gotta get Emmanuel the ball. I said, if we go all season like this, we're gonna get beat. I said, if you spread them out, if you spread people out, you throw both ways, they don't know who to check now. Yeah. So my thing was making everybody around me in my group to be the best, because if we as a group be the best, everybody gonna get theirs.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna get their yards.
And come with it, yeah. Come with it. Yeah, come with it.
So some of those games where you see me not getting the ball is because this week is this how it's gonna be.
It's gonna be, yeah.
I don't.
And you cool with that?
My ultimate goal is to win.
Yeah, you cool with that? That's one of the things we preach at my thing. Like same thing, cause you know we cut from the same cloth. Like tonight might not be your night. You know, you got to be satisfied. One night you might have 25 and we win. One night you might have 4, but your numbers can't reflect your effort. Got to be the same every night. And long as we win, that's all that matters. So that's like, of course we know these things. That's why, like I said, like I love to hear you talk about saying this stuff because it's some of the same stuff I did, some of the stuff I believe in. And now you at even like you at the NFL, whether we talking about NFL, Microsoft, or
it's all.
you know what I'm saying?
It's all
Any great collective thing, everybody has this type of mindset. And just for the record, I want you to know that, I bet on the Seahawks and won, and I bet against y'all on the other seat. I mean, I bet with y'all the second time, so I appreciate you both times.
Man, you did.
When I went to the first Super Bowl.
I had to take the Seahawks, bro. I just thought it was
it's all right, bro.
Hey.
Cool. I got one, though.
Yeah, exactly. I said, I bet on you the second time, though. I liked you the second time.
They put it on us at first, but I was hurt.
Hey,
man, that was a weird game, though.
Like that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, when that first fumble happened, you knew that, like, something – when you watch Super Bowls, you know how quick, like, people don't understand with, like, a championship game, and Ben can talk about this, and y'all can talk about it from the high school level too. When you have that moment, like, there's so little time. Like, yeah, the game is the same number of minutes, but you have so little time to where, like, somebody's momentum can sway this way and it's done. Like y'all in 50, like Vaughn and Wolf and all them boys on the defense were like, oh, no. We're not going to lose. Sorry, Cam, we ain't finna lose this thing. We about to work on you. And so there was nothing Cam Newton could have done, even as good as he is. There wasn't, and so y'all talk about how that momentum shifted, and how do you battle that when you see that momentum not going your way?
I'll go first on this one. Momentum is like, me and my dad will always talk about this, like it should be a stat. It's crazy how something can change so quick. And then especially when you're playing good teams, say in basketball, you can be controlling the game up 4 or 5, and then you make one bad play, and it just ignites the team. They hit a 3, then next 3 or dunk, and now you go from up 4 to down 10, and we're talking about within a minute and 30 seconds time. And then anything, it takes a special team. And this goes back to what Baybay was saying earlier. This is where the work comes in and the experience. Because you got to have somebody to rally the troops. Like, hey, we've been here. All we got to do is make one good play and we'll swing it back. Or don't get so wrapped up in, they making a play, thinking about it. You have to just think about your next play. Don't get caught up with what's going on. And then it's both sports. Game of runs, you swing the momentum and you can go and do the same thing, but you have the experience and the composure of going through those moments. That's one of those things, like, we can talk about it, but we can't give you a book on that. That's one of them things that you really gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go through first. Yeah.
Basically, kind of what he's saying is like it's just the momentum of the game, and it comes with experience. Because when I first got in the game, and I'm like, whoa, bro, we down by 21, but I be forgetting it's only the second quarter.
Yeah.
And there's so much time left, and it's like, okay, I'm learning. But when it comes with experience, it's like, you're gonna have those up and down, but it's only take one play. Half of the time.
Tom Brady will tell you that.
It only take one play. Yeah. And that's the main thing is just being able to experience it and deal with it. I know sometimes in my years I didn't have to deal with it because we was always on top. There's times where it happened. But for sure. I just say same thing to Ben. But
so
for one thing, I was about to say, so like we was talking about the defense. Demaryius Ware at Super Bowl 50. What I learned. So I learned so much from Champ Bailey, Brian Dawkins, Demaryius Ware, Peyton, a couple older guys. Mm-hmm. I still remember. He said, "Man, I watched so much film." He said, "I said, bro, why y'all coming off that ball so hard?" Demaryius Ware studied the offensive lineman for the Panthers so much, he knew when it was a pass, he knew when it was a run. The whole defensive line knew that too. And if y'all couldn't tell by how they was getting off that ball, those the little things being filmed. It's on film. It's on film.
You got a cheat code. Like, you going into the game with a cheat code. You got answers to the test.
Hey, and you didn't have to send nobody to film it neither, like other folks. Yeah, I had to throw that. I mean, no offense, Patriots, but I'm just saying, like, like y'all got filmed the right way. You didn't send somebody walking out saying, "Hey, we're gonna make a highlight reel," and then be filming the other team's sidelines. So, like y'all, like them Broncos, man, like y'all. And my thing is, baby, to me, I'm so proud of you personally because the guy that I met in 04, when I first started working in sports, I'll never forget, I had to go down to Quitman, Georgia. My boss, he still apologizes because he's like, man, I shouldn't have done that. That's too long a drive. My first football game I covered was to go to Quitman, Georgia, and to cover you, because there was that other boy for Brooks that was solid too, and y'all were both playing each other on both sides. You know, you were playing wide receiver and DB on him, and then vice versa, and y'all were just trading blows. And I remember thinking to myself, man, this joker gonna play on Sunday.
Me and that kid could have played on Sunday. God bless the dead. He passed, but though, like, it's crazy because you can go from college. I mean, you can go from high school and being like the ultimate, like the best player in your town or county, in your division. But then you can get a reality check too when it comes to college. Like you were saying, like, man, that dude will be playing one day, but it only takes sometimes, like in college, the experience, like Ben said, the change of points, because you have to worry about school, you have to worry about all the other things. One day it might be you about to flunk something. It's like, man, I'm so good at ball. If I don't take care of my book work, I won't be playing ball. So it's so much, like it's so much, and that's why you never saw me in trouble, because I really care. I wanted to do this. I wanted to go to school. If I had to get a degree, I was gonna get my degree. And if I didn't have to play ball, I was gonna be okay with it. But I was gonna get a degree.
Yeah.
I was gonna play ball. That was my main goal, is to go play ball. But that was it, because it was ups and downs throughout the way, man.
And it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. It's like that. It's never a straight path. Like, people see you first round or whatever. And that's not even, like, you have your own life struggles. You know, you had a situation with your mom and your grandmama. Like, that's another thing. But if we just strictly talking athletics, I don't care how you good, whether you Kyrie Irving, Demaryius Thomas, Ben Smith, like, it's still gonna be times, even as good as, because we all have some athletic arrogance about us. That's what makes us good. Yeah, but you gonna have times where you like, man, what I'm doing, I ain't that good. Or you might, like, school is hard, weight is hard, and you still want me to go to practice, like that's how our day is. We wake up, weights, class, study hard, practice, film. And that's just the mandatory stuff. This is not even what he was talking about earlier. Let me get some more routes in, or let me study some more. So your whole day is planned. So when you see a baby get drafted in the first round, like this month, like those results are dependent on the work. It's not the other way around. You know, the work he put in got the results. So this is one night, and I'm sure you was magical, and you love. I was hyped for you, you know, but it's even better because you know what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it special. It ain't special because it happened. It's special because you knew what it took to get here. And that's what the younger generation, it's not going to happen. Like, you're not just going to stick it in the microwave and the food get done. Like, you know,
microwave food don't taste good no way.
Exactly. You make the oven better. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be in that oven or on that grill. Like people, like that's what you.
It's a slow grind.
I appreciate y'all talking about that, because I think for a lot of kids today, they just don't realize that, like, there's so many things, and that's what that both of you shared, and Baybay in particular, you talked about, you know, little things. Quintez did it last week. You know, he talked about working on his right foot, working on his hip, working at, you know, all these little bitty nuances that make you better as a whole. And people, and him, like, watching film on his own with a little DVD player. And like for you, you're sitting there playing in 09, balling out and finally getting them balls thrown your way, because Paul Johnson's seeing that you are doing your part. So he's going to, because everybody knows, as cranky as Paul could be, if you ain't doing your part, he ain't going to throw you no ball. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, he don't care, you know? If he's only going to throw it three times, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's only throwing it 3 times, you better be blocking, because he won't give you any of them 3 if you ain't careful. But, like, to me, that's what I appreciate you reminding folks, that sometimes it's not going to go your way, but if you keep working like you did, you showed how you could block. So it did end up going your way. So even though at first it's like, man, I don't even know if I want to be here, but then you kept putting in that work. And now look where you've had an unbelievable NFL career, and Lord willing, it's going to keep going. You know, my hope is, because, you know, my kids are like, they want you to go back to the Broncos, because they still got a bunch of Bronco swag that they will wear when you would play. They don't have no Jets or no Patriots and all that stuff. But like, my thing is, you've transformed your life based on your work. And I think that's so great to share with the kids that, you know, it wouldn't have been nothing wrong with you if you'd end up working at YKK here or at Valmira Glass. I mean, there's plenty of great people that are doing that, but you put in that little bit extra work, and now look what it turned into.
And the thing I did it too, because it's nothing like it's like how I kind of grew up. It kind of put an extra bug in it too, but it was just like I wanted to get away, and being in Lawrence County in the south part, well, being anywhere below Macon and below, it's and don't go to Statesboro, but like our areas, it's hard for people to come down there to see us. And if you ain't making a big impact, they ain't gonna come see you. So I hope the kids are paying attention to this. When you do extra, you really need to do extra, because if anybody gonna know you doing extra, it's gonna be your coach. Coaches will know when you're doing extra, and extra gets you to be better. When you want to be better and you want to do something better, that's what you got to do. You can't just sit around and hopefully it come because somebody said, "Oh."
I love it. I love it. And let me tell you one more.
I'm trying to be worldwide.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I just kept putting in work. I wasn't the best athlete. I was not the best athlete, but what I did do, the stuff that I had to do, I put in so many repetitions to be so perfect at it that when I play ball, my game wasn't pretty. That's why they don't never talk about, Demaryius Thomas with all this, because I just did it the gritty in the way I knew it. I was fast. I jumped here and there, but I wasn't always athletic. I wasn't the most athletic guy. I knew I had to put the extra work in. And everything I worked at, I try to be my best. Even when I played AAU basketball there, I know I wasn't the best shooter. I know I wasn't the best dribbler.
We know that.
Say I was one of the best defensive players, though. I took pride in it. But that was my
facts though. You did it with all jokes aside. Like I remember we played somebody, best wing player, baby got him, and we didn't worry about it. And that kept him on the floor. You know, he might have 5 or 6 points, but we gotta have him in because he's valuable to what we do. He might not get 18 or 20 like me on the other end. We know he's gonna rebound. Yeah, he gonna rebound. He gonna play defense. He gonna do the intangibles. All right, he got to be out here. Tight game at the end of the game. We gotta have him out here. And everybody, and it's the thing about it. I'm glad you said it. It's unless it comes from you for your team or people who really know, it's also no glory in that, and that's what kids can't. They want instant gratification all the time. You know, because it's not too many parents gonna come home.
There's so much come with that.
Yo, boy, you really played good defense tonight. First thing I want to ask you after the game, how many points
you have? Yep.
Like that get old. Like it's so much that comes with that.
It's so much more to sport.
Points you had, then you got to be a superstar all the time, which you don't know.
Exactly.
Like, if you're gonna be that, you're gonna be that. If you can handle that, you can handle that. But I wanted to be the best of I could be for our team, and that's why we was 50, whatever we was, and whatever we was. I know I wasn't the best scorer, but I know I could play defense. I could rebound.
Facts.
And it's techniques to everything. If you want to be a better rebounder, you get on that low knee so they can't jump. It's just that's what I knew. That's why I was good in basketball, because where we was from, I was an athlete and I could play. I could shoot it here, a little there, but that rebounding and that defense, I took pride in that because I knew if I was gonna play AAU and I was gonna be on the court, that's what I had to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you,
I ain't have to do everything.
Hey, but I told John Kenny, now this is no lie. When I was covering y'all, I walked into his office. You know, he never would tell nothing. Like you'd be like, "Hey, how's Morocco looking? Oh, we don't talk about players. That's HIPAA or FERPA or whatever." And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I got in there one time. I'm like, Coach Kenny, I said, here's what your offense needs to be. You need to script the first 15 plays need to be post up to Baybay. Like literally, because all these DBs that they'll have out against you, they be like 5'5", 5'6". You know, they, no offense to Ben, but they be like Ben's size a little bit shorter. And I'm like, if you just throw the ball up in the air and it's a jump ball, if you think that Baybay ain't going to win that every time, I'm like, just do that 15 times and see what you do. And he just started laughing. But thing about it was y'all started running them screens. Uh-oh, we done froze everybody. All right. Praise Jesus.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why? Baybay done set another record. See, like that's the thing about it. Baybay done set another record because this is the longest Irish from three in the history of Irish from three.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up then.
Yeah, we about to. I think that computer or the Zoom is like trying to say, "Hey, bro, I got some food on the table. I need to go get to it." Because it just went.
Hey, do your thing. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, for facts, that was good, man. And before we go, another thing I wanted to say, bro, like to speak to our friendship, like, cause a lot of people, like Jason, this is the first time probably Baby and I really talk basketball or football like this. Usually when we talk, it's just like, "Oh, some bro, you good? Like, how everything?" Like, we never really get into.
Or like, "Hey, bro, we gonna link up soon."
Yeah. Like we supposed to have went to Vegas a little while ago. That got Corona.
I might be a godfather too. You ain't gonna tell everybody.
Hey, maybe. You know, we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
But the main thing is I like doing this because I think our youth need it though. It's a lot of trouble. It's a lot of trouble back home. It's a lot of ways to get into some trouble. I could have been in trouble easily because I grew up with a mama that went to jail, but I chose that path to go the right way, and I hope they do too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like the thing that I love about Dublin, Georgia, is that there's always so many people. Ben just got to sign off another player, Quay King, signed to go play ball. And I keep seeing all these kids, Clarence Jackson's gone to Wichita State. We got all these kids that, like, to me, we got this little hidden gem in Dublin, Georgia, where people don't realize just the amount of talent that comes through.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying. And so my hope is that by you and Ben and all this, that we're hopefully inspiring that next Baybay and that next Ben and that, next man up type of thing. Because my hope is we keep this good thing rolling as long as it can go.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. We got some coming. Got some coming.
Well, I want to tell you, Baby, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. And please don't be a stranger when you come into town. I throw this joke out because me and Ben are neighbors. So if you show up to the house and y'all don't hit me up, I'll come over in my mask. I ain't scared. I'll come over in my mask and we'll hang out. And we'll be just some country boys hanging out. But I want to thank you for joining us. And this has been Irish from Three with Coach Ben Smith.